Hey guys, what's going on? So I'm back with my LBA Season 5 Week 11 pregame show, and yeah, I know Week 10 still hasn't been played, but that's because Ab's a bum and hasn't been able to, or his Wi-Fi hasn't been working, so I'm going to be putting that off probably till the same day that I play my Week 11 match, or somewhere around there, but this week we are going to be taking on Necro Stevo and the Eterna City Enders. He's a really cool dude. He has a magnificent voice, I may add, and but before I look at his team, the reason I'm on my team page is because I made a move, and I made a big move. So one of the teams that we played slightly earlier in the season, right here, the Chaos High Dragons, who we beat 4-0. Well, first things first, Starmie ended up getting dropped to free agency and was put on the waiver wire, and I put a claim into the waiver wire, but of course since I'm like right in the middle of the pack, so I wasn't able to get it, but Magma, coach of the Chaos High Dragons, did, and he decided to drop Slowbro for it. So Slowbro got put on waivers, and no one below me put in a claim for Slowbro, so I was able to get Slowbro. And the way waiver wires work is when a Pokemon is dropped into free agency from a team, there's a 24-hour time period where it's not you can't. It's kind of like protected picking or something where you let the people know that it's on the waiver wire, and then they have to PM a mod, who I'm a mod here now because of reasons, and they let you, the mod will, or you tell the mod what you want to drop for that thing, and basically the lowest ranked team in that division who puts a claim on it gets it. And no one below me put a claim in for Slowbro, so I was able to drop Gothitelle for Slowbro. Now Gothitelle is really cool, got to trap things, but I had the opportunity to get Slowbro to complete Slowbro Mungus core, which is pretty amazing, and I also considered dropping Swampert because bulky physical water, but I didn't want to do that because Swampert and Slowbro have their uniquenesses. Swampert can do a lot of cool things. It can set up rocks, as some neat utility moves, which I'll actually be using this game, and I actually do have some plans for it in the future. But it's just they serve different roles, and that's kind of the reason why I didn't want to get rid of that. And Gothitelle's such a hit or miss Pokemon. I've used it successfully like once or twice, really. In my week 1, I HP fighting Bisharp and got it which had an 80% chance to kill, and it didn't. And then my Gothitelle died. The only time I actually got a kill was trapping and killing a Ferrothorn with an HP Fire week 6. So, you know, it has its cool little niches, but Slowbro is something that I can always kind of depend on. So, oops. I thought that'd just be a great ad for the team. So that's enough rambling. 3 minutes in. So let's go ahead and check out the Eterna City Enders, which is Necro Stevo's team, or at Pokedex Swain. Now, his squad is Mega Venusaur, Togekiss, Weavile, Cobalion, Mesprit, Donphin, Darmanitan, Tyrantrum, Rotom, and Cinccino, or however the hell you say that. So, right off the bat, we have fat shit like Mega Venusaur, Togekiss, which can be fat. Aside from that, he doesn't really have that much other bulky stuff. He's got Donphan, which is actually going to be annoying for me because I'm pretty sure he will bring it. But I should have ways to beat it, and it just kind of keeps my physical things from breaking through his team. And of course, the main thing, Mega Venusaur, always going to be difficult to break through, especially since I dropped Gothitelle. And before I got Slowbro, I had this initial plan. It was a very offensive team that had Gothitelle to trap Venusaur, but in testing against against 2 of my friends using simulations with what they thought would be the best 6 of his team going against mine, I got blown back both times using that team, so I knew I had to rebuild, and I did in a way that a lot of people aren't going to appreciate, but in my opinion, it's the best way to beat him, because he has a lot of bulky things. He has some very hard hitters like Weavile and Darm and Tyrantrum, which is actually an enormous threat to my team, as well as other things like Venusaur, which is kind of hard to play around with if I'm on offense, since it's really hard to switch into an offensive set, and Togekiss with its evilness can do a lot of annoying things. But that's kind of my spiel about him. And also, one more thing, playoffs. Stevo is 4-6. This game he got the L. It just hasn't been uploaded. So he is 4-6, and he is pretty much my main competition right now. I am sitting in the 8th place spot. I'm competing with Steve-O, who's 4-6. If I can beat him, then I pretty much put the nail in the coffin of his season. Also competing with the Atlanta Arcanines, who are going to be 5-5 because of a forfeit, and Leicester City Swaglets, who are also 4-6. So that's my competition. So if I can beat Steve-O, I'm going to be in a huge advantage because 1, I have differential over everybody, and 2, that basically knocks out one guy out of the contention, and neither of these guys both these guys took over teams, and they haven't actually won a game on their own, like, playing, so I don't know if they'll be able to win out the rest of the year, and I think I have the best opportunity to win out the rest of the season, that or Steve-O. So I think if I can go 2-1 and beat Steve-O as one of those wins, I should be able to make playoffs. And even going 6-6, that should lock me into it because I'll have a better differential than everyone else going for that spot, unless he wins out and gets some ridiculous blowouts that puts a differential above me or something like that. But with all that said, we have a chance to get into playoffs, and I think I'll be able to get into it as long as I just play great and I go at least 2-1. Then I should be 8th place or even 7th place if we're being crazy. But let's take a look at the team. So we've got LBA versus Steve-O, and this team I'm running. Oh shit! Hold on. Alright, sorry about that. Never had that happen before, but this team I'm running is really, really bulky. It's got 5 bulky things and an Excadrill. The reason behind this is because these 5 bulky things can wear down his team, and the one thing I noticed was he has 1 immunity to Choice Scarf, Excadrill, Earthquakes, and a couple things that can take the hit. So I was noticing that if I could break down those weaknesses, you know, kill a Venusaur, kill a Togekiss, and weaken a Donphan, I could just straight sweep him with Excadrill, with Earthquake. So that's kind of my thought process going into all this, and this is all support and Trent and just patching up all the things that he could do to me. So first off, we got specially defensive bulk up Talonflame with Will-O-Wisp. Basically, this thing is my best check is one of my checks to make a Venusaur. I also have 2 other ones, but this thing definitely threatens it. And one thing I noticed was his best switch into that is to my Talonflame is either Rotom or Tyrantrum. Tyrantrum I think is more likely since it can resist both my stabs and doesn't just get blown back by like a Flare Blitz. So I think I'm pretty damn positive he's going to be bringing Tyrantrum because one, it walls Talonflame, and the other thing is it just kind of really hurts my team with head smashes. So if I can catch that thing on the switch in with a Will-O-Wisp, that's going to nerf it considerably, and especially if he doesn't bring Heal Bell support, which only I believe his Togekiss can get, which he has run before, so I'm not sure if he'll do that. But if he doesn't have that and I burn that thing, I can handle it, and that would be huge because that thing is the #1 threat to my team. If he's DD, then it's going to be a problem. I do have things to answer that, but it will involve me losing things. So if I could burn that thing, that'd be awesome. But Bulk Up Flame gives me a win condition, makes it so that my team's not full stall, but Bulk Up Talonflame, it completely works over his team aside from Tyrantrum, so if I can just burn that thing or get rid of it, or if he doesn't bring it, then Talonflame's going to have a party. This thing is a great switch into Venusaur. It can chew up any hit it wants to go for, unless of course it does like have HP Rock or he poisons me with Sludge Bomb, but you know, I'm prepared for that. And this thing can sweep his team and is one of my win conditions, but it's not completely vital to me winning. Like, I don't need it for the entirety of the game if it can take care of things like Venusaur. Also, some funny things is it like doesn't take shit from Rotom's Thunderbolt. If it's Choice Scarfed, Thunderbolt does like 75%. So if I can Will-O-Wisp it, I can just Roost Stall it to death basically if I was that kind of person or something like that. But Talonflame is just a fantastic thing against this team. Only one answer, and of course you can have phasing and other things, but Talonflame's great. So next thing is newest member, welcome Baka, the Slowbro, and this I'm running Culper Berry, physically defensive with Calm Mind, Slack Off, Scald, and Psychic, and this thing is win condition #2. And this thing is just really good against his team as well. His best way to kill me is with his special attackers like Rotom and like Mega Venusaur and I guess Togekiss. And also, I guess Weavile can do the thing against me, but because I'm back in the Culverberry, Weavile's knockoff plus a second knockoff after that is never going to 2-hit KO me if he's Jolly Life Orb and I'm at full health. So basically, if I'm at full health and he goes for the knockoff on me, if I have Stealth Rock up, he comes in, takes 25 from rocks, goes for a knockoff, takes 10% from Life Orb, and then I go for a Scald, which does probably like 30-40%, and then I also have that chance to get a burn. That Weavile's pretty much neutralized, and I can live the next knockoff if he does go for that, and I can slack off around that, or I can just go for the kill with Scald and get Regenerator, or something like that, you know. But Slowbro's really good against this team. Once I start getting a couple Calm Minds up, and if I can get rid of or nerf like a Banded Tyrantrum, which is the only thing that really can break through this thing, then if I have a Calm Mind or two up, his Mega Venusaur can't kill me, and I can just Calm Mind and slack off around until I can kill it with a Psychic, and this thing just sweeps his team. So I've got the dual bulky setup things, and Slowbro's fantastic. It checks a ton. It blanket checks most of his team. It like eats the shit out of Cobalion. Darmanitan can't do anything. Donphan can't do anything. Doesn't take much from Cinccino. If I get Calm Minds up, then nothing can really kill it aside from, you know, this thing which does a shitload with Banded Head Smashes. And I have noticed that he opts to go with a choiced variant over Dragon Dancing set. Oh shit, what am I doing? Thank God for Control Z, but Slowbro's just fantastic against his team, and with these two things right here that can boost up and put a ton of pressure on his team while still walling the shit out of his team, I think I have a good chance to win with just these two alone, but I still got other ways to win this. So the third thing I'm bringing is Swampert, and I want this thing for Stealth Rock, and the set I'm running is Rindoberry, Mirror Coat, Stealth Rock, Scald, EQ, Max Physical Defense. Yeah, we're bringing a Lure Swampert. Now this thing is meant, because of Rindoberry plus Mirror Coat, I can take a modest max special attack, Mega Venusaur, Giga Drain, which is what he favors to run. I can take that hit, go for the Mirror Coat, and one-shot him. Even if he's defensive, a Giga Drain's still going to put him in range of dying to Mirror Coat. So if I can just pull off that Mirror Coat early on and get rid of that thing, that's going to make it a lot easier to mess around with his team, because then he just loses a huge part of his offensive and defensive backbone. And also this thing does pack rocks, and it also gives me a secondary check to, or secondary counter really, to Darmanitan. And this is my overall best switch into Tyrantrum because it can just chew up a Head Smash. If he goes for Outrage, then that's gonna do about 50%. If he's banded, it's gonna be a 2-hit KO, but I can deal with Tyrantrum, I guess. If he's choice locked into Outrage, then I can revenge kill it with Excadrill. And this thing is just good against his team. It also gives, if I lose my Rindoberry and I am able to sustain its health, this makes it an absolutely perfect switch into Weavile, because it doesn't really take shit from unboosted knockoff or an Icicle Crash really, and I can also wear down those Life Orb turns. So Swampert's just really good against his team, and now I knew that because I had 2 setup sweepers and a wall without recovery that I kind of wanted, I knew that I needed some support, so I decided Blissey would be a fantastic option for me. I'm running lefties with max physical defense, max HP, and I'm running Wish Protect for the first time this season with Heal Bell and Seismic Toss. Heal Bell because these things are definitely susceptible to getting all 3 of these things are very susceptible to getting status in some way, and even a Moongus can get paralyzed or burnt from, I don't know, a non-sheer force flare blitz from Darmanitan or something stupid. But this thing, it serves as a good check to things like Togekiss, and it's a thing that won't die to Venusaur, and just passing wishes and heal belling around to make sure these things stay alive and healthy is going to be clutch for just the whole game, because in this game I'm thinking I'm gonna wait him out and then just boom, slam him really hard with Excadrill, and the game's gonna be over like that. And one thing I am considering doing, and I probably can do, is PP stall him out of Synthesis on Venusaur, because once I do that, then that's not a switch into Excadrill's Earthquake, and if I get rid of Togekiss, Scarf DQs just sweep his team since he has no switch in his fort that can recover health. So that's another thing that I'm thinking about, because I can definitely PP stall out Root Synthesis, because I can wear it down with Seismic Toss, I can wear it down with Brave Birds and roosting around, and I can stay healthy with Heal Bell and Wish and stuff. And my 5th mon that I'm bringing, Amoonguss, I'm bringing a really interesting set, Assault Vest, Regenerator Course, Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, HP Fire, Clear Smog, with max special attack Modest and max special defense. Now this thing is meant to completely 1v1 Venusaur and Rotom, because Rotom is also another thing that's going to be really annoying to my team, so this thing just flat out beats it. I can also beat a Mesprit if he's carrying Psychic, because I can still chew a Psychic pretty well, and then fire off a Giga Drain and play around with Regenerator and stuff. And this does give me the nice Regenerator backbone with Slowbro as well, so I can definitely pivot around with these two guys. And this thing actually does do quite a bit of work against his team. The coverage hits his team really hard, and this thing completely 1v1s Venusaur. If I get a burn on it with Talonflame or a Scald Burn, I can basically just destroy his Venusaur, because if it's burnt, it's taking residual damage, and then it's taking a modest max special attack Sludge Bomb, which you may not think is going to do that much, but let's just pull up some calcs. Okay, so for some reason Mega Venusaur has no sets on this thing, which is kind of annoying, so I had to put it all on myself. But basically, if he's max special attack, Sludge Bomb is not doing anything, 31% maximum, well, pretty much 32, which means I can take 3 of those things and then just switch out and get Regenerator. I can just pivot around with Blissey all day and night because it's not a problem. And what this thing does, especially if it's burnt, is it's taking that residual from burn, which is 12%, and then it's taking 30% minimum, so it's taking 45% or 42% minimum every single turn, which is going to put pressure on it to keep on using Synthesis. And if I can get rid of those Synthesis, which he'll have 5 to 8, I know he breeds some things, so there's a good chance to only have 5. If I can get rid of those things, his Venusaur is pretty much worthless against my team, because Amoonguss completely beats it, and he has no way to recover health against me because I'm immune to Leech Seed. Giga Drain's not going to be doing anything at all. Let's just see Giga Drain from, yeah, 5 to 6%, possibly the worst move ever. Yeah, but this thing just totally walls it out day and night, just completely. It's not even a problem. So if I get this thing burnt, which is definitely part of my game plan, I can switch into Amoonguss every time he goes into this thing and just beat it. So Amoonguss is really fantastic for that, and also gives me a perfect switch into Rotom because it doesn't really give a shit about anything it does. If it burns me, that's annoying, but you know, I have Heal Bell. Shadow Balls aren't doing anything. Thunderbolts are doing especially nothing. And I probably can I can definitely dissuade him from going for Volt Switches, since I do have, you know, an Excadrill and a Swampert, which are annoying for his team, especially. And one thing that's nice about Swampert is it basically baits in Venusaur, and if I can do that, just make it come in, take a Scald, or let me set up rocks, and then he goes for the Giga Drain, bam! Murkrow gone. Just blown away. That'd be really awesome. And Swampert, you know, Swampert's just cool, and it deserves to do a cool thing for me. So Amoonguss just great, HP Fire there to hit Cobalion, which is kind of spooky against this team. Well, I don't know, as long as I have Slowbro around, it can't really do much to me unless he's got Lordly and Calm Mind Volt Switch combo, which would be Lordly, but I know he likes running SD on that thing, which isn't a problem. You could run Air Balloon because it beats Excadrill as long as the Air Balloon's intact, but my plan is, unless I need to revenge kill something then and there that really threatens my team, Excadrill's just going to be sitting pretty in the back until his team's weakened to the point where I can just keep on spamming Earthquake or Iron Head and the game's done. So let's go to the thing that I've been talking about the most, and that's Excadrill. And this one is Choice Scarf with Mold Breaker, EQ, Iron Head, Rapid Spin, Facade with 196 speed EVs with a Jolly Nature, and that's going to allow me to outspeed Togekiss if it's Choice Scarfed, and of course max physical attack for the damage, and the rest was dumped into HP, which gives me a nice little bit of bulk. And this thing just absolutely terrorizes his team. He has one switch that like takes the hit in Venusaur. Togekiss, if I catch it with an Iron Head, it's going to get blown back. He has other things, but Mesprit, Levitator, can just chew on an Earthquake and go to hell. And I was noticing that Rotom really walls out Sand Rush Excadrill, so that also kind of made me think twice about doing that, as I did have Sand Rush Drill as part of my beginning strategy. But you know, this thing does a ton of work to his team, and also make sure I don't get swept by a Dragon Dancing Tyrantrum, given that I don't let it set up multiple Dragon Dances in my face, because I can just come in and kill this thing, or if he's locked in that range, I can come in and kill it, or something cool like that. But you know, that's the team. Excadrill puts a ton of pressure on his team. Just keeping in the back will just... having Excadrill on my roster of 6 just instantly puts pressure, because it's so powerful, and it's just a threat, because he has really not much for it. If he's offensive Venusaur, which he likes to bring, let's just say he's that. Yeah, Earthquake's doing a ton. If I have Stealth Rock up, you know, if I have Stealth Rock up, yeah, I have a solid chance to 2-hit KO it, and if he's out of Synthesis, I can just keep on spamming Earthquake, and Giga Drain's not doing that, getting him enough recovery to where Earthquake won't be a kill the following turn or something. But that's the team. Quick overview. Scarf Excadrill wrecks his team once I weaken things and get rid of Togekiss, which is his only Mold Breaker ground immunity. Assault Vest Amoonguss just walls Rotom and Venusaur to no end without having to be annoyed by things like Pain Split and Leech Seed that much. Blissey, which is complete support, Wish Protect and Heal Bell to make sure my things don't get worn down. Swampert, which is the Venusaur lure, and also gives me just a nice rocker and check to quite a few things on his team. Culver Berry, Slowbro, you know, it just really works his team. Calm Mind puts a ton of pressure on it, and this Weavile can't 2-hit KO if he's Jolly Life Orb. If he's banded, then we're gonna have problems, but I can play around a banded set, I guess. And lastly, Talonflame, especially defensive bulk up, takes care of a lot of things on his team, and is also a nice lure to Tyrantrum, because if I can burn it, I can handle it really, really well, as long as he's not Lumberry. And funny thing is, I was doing some testing, and I was at +2 defense, and I burned the thing, and it still just annihilated me with Head Smash, which is hilarious. But you know, Head Smash is extremely powerful. But you know, that's enough. So this is the team. It's semi-stall. Yeah, I know. So bite me. I know you guys hate that, but I don't care. I don't have a soul, and I'm trying to win, and I'm trying to win big, importantly, because I need that differential, and I just need these wins so that I can make playoffs, because that sounds like fun. I want to make playoffs, and I want to take this team on a run. So if you enjoyed this, make sure to drop a like. If you're curious why I didn't bring anything in particular, ask away. I do like reading comments. I don't bite, I promise, unless you ask something stupid, and then I will bite. But you know, that's aside from the point. So with that said, I'll see you next time. Peace.